Hopefully I won't choke. All right, I have everybody's attention. You can watch me choke to death. Yes, a fundraiser for Toastmasters. There's information there, a guest book. And there's some things that, look, wait a minute, just let's take a moment to appreciate this dress, okay? I am bringing the bling tonight.
Take it off.
It's not easy. Not easy getting it on. Not easy getting it on. All right, some things to go over. First of all, restrooms down there if you need it. Please take this minute to turn off your cell phones. And if you have to get up and use the restroom, or get up for any other reason, please do it between stories. This is what you can expect. There's going to be 4 stories in the beginning, all true to life stories. Then we're going to have an intermission where you will delightfully spend your money. And there's a curtain so you can buy so much and you don't have to be embarrassed about your neighbors knowing how much you bought. And then we're going to have 3 more stories. And that'll be it. And then we'll unlock the doors and let you go home. All right. Now, Ken, I believe, is in the right place at the right time. So he's going to tell us about being a dad. Ken Clench, being a dad.
I remember where I was the day I realized it was time for me to be a father. I was sitting on a beach, and a father walked by with his little girl riding on his shoulders. And in the innocent little way that children do, she pointed at a seagull and said, "Look, Daddy, a seagull." And there was something about that moment, it struck me in just the right way. I had spent the last 35 years caring only for myself, and I realized that it was time for me to care for someone else. So 2 years later, I met my now ex-wife, and in 2001, we became the parents of our daughter, Sarah. I remember holding Sarah in the hospital and thinking, I'm going to do what I can to be the kind of father to her that my father wasn't. My dad was actually an amazing man, a physicist. He designed missiles for the aerospace industry. He's very smart. Unfortunately, he never made me feel that way. As a young boy, I remember standing next to my dad, and I pointed up at the sky, and I'd seen a plane and said, "Dad, I want to be an airplane pilot." And he went on to tell me how smart you got to be to be an airplane pilot, and was I sure I had what it takes to be an airplane pilot? And I left the conversation thinking, well, I guess I'm just not smart enough or good enough to be an airplane pilot. The house in New Hampshire where I grew up was lined with maple trees. And my dad would tap the trees. He'd collect the sap. Have you ever had fresh maple syrup? No. He would tap the trees and boil down the sap into syrup. I would have liked to help. I remember being there with him, but I could observe. He never let me get my hands sticky from the sap or help bring the bags over or pour them into the metal bucket where he boiled it down. Maybe pour the finished syrup into the molds for the maple sugar candy. And when I did do something or told him a story, he always had a better way. You know, he always tell me a better way it could have been done or a better outcome. I was about 12 when my mother and father divorced. And although he only lived about an hour away, I saw him 2 or 3 times a year. He just never had time to come see his kids. He came to one of my high school events at the prodding of his second wife. I'd call him on the phone over the years, even up into my adult life, but he never really had time to talk. He was always busy doing something, whether cooking dinner or working in his shop or whatever the deal was. He just never had time to talk. When Sarah was very little, I started singing to her. I wanted her to have the same appreciation for music that I did. So I'd sing to her pushing the stroller. I'd sing to her driving in the car. I'd sing loud enough from the shower so she could hear me. I just wanted her to hear music. The door from her preschool opened into a hallway that led to an open outside hallway that led to some stairs, and then down where's the curb where the car was parked. When I picked her up from preschool, we would race down that hallway, and she would always beat me. Always beat me. At home one time, I was watching television. She was still pretty little. She came in to ask me a question. But I motioned to her that I was really involved in this show. This wasn't some important news event. It was just a show. And I motioned to her, hold on a second. And then I realized what I'd just done. It just made the TV more important than her. So I shut it off, and I turned to her and listened to what she had to say. And from that day forward, I made it a point that when she came to me, I would do what I could to stop what I was doing and listen. And I'd shut the television set off many times after that. She was in Girl Scouts, and I never missed a father-daughter dance. We could cut a rug together, let me tell you. And we'd sell cookies together. I'd sit in front of the stores with her, or we'd walk the neighborhood and sell Girl Scout cookies. We still hike together. We go camping together. In up north, where she's a chemical engineer now, we even do yoga together sometimes when I go up and visit. I think about what it might have been like had my dad had the same appreciation for being a father. For me, it's a profound honor to have been and to be her dad and to watch her grow up. And it makes me sad sometimes to think that he didn't have that capacity. I'm not an airplane pilot, but I sure do feel like one sometimes. Because when I'm with my daughter, I fly to the stars. Now I'm going to play a song for you that has to do with things getting better. I think you're going to recognize it. And I would encourage you to sing along if you want. Let's start that again. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smile's returning to faces. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, little glitter. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, little glitter. Here comes the sun.